As stay-at-home orders continue in Virginia and across the nation, there is fear that another pandemic is emerging: child abuse. Reports of abuse are down, way down, but the National Sexual Abuse Hotline is seeing an all-time high of children logging onto its site. 10 on your side, Stephanie Harris spoke with the experts to open up about what's happening behind closed doors.
Since Virginia started sheltering in place 2 months ago, the state has seen a decrease of more than 90% in daily referrals for child abuse. This while more children are trapped at home with their abuser. Experts know it doesn't add up, and they are truly afraid for the children who become invisible to the system. When home is not a safe place.
I can't imagine for them the degree of suffering that they're living through.
Quarantine compounds the pain.
Most offenders are in their circle of what we call circle of trust.
Erin Portnoy and Camille Cooper work with child victims every day. Portnoy with CHKD, Cooper with the Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network. Rain runs the country's largest sexual abuse hotline.
Some of the abusive acts that they were describing were pretty severe.
Rain's realizing its biggest concerns as hotline staff hear from more kids than ever via their online chat.
The one thing that really stood out was that these children were describing abuse that was escalating in frequency because they were stuck at home now every day with their abuser.
With schools closed, kids have lost their support system. Teachers and coaches who normally would spot and report abuse. The Virginia Department of Social Services told 10 on your side it typically receives about 7,700 calls a day. Referrals are now down 90% overall, and calls from schools have been cut in half.
It's really not that the abuse has decreased, it's just that we're trying to look out for everybody's health.
In order to protect against COVID, CHKD had to change its criteria, only seeing in person those in imminent danger.
Younger children are always more at risk. Children who are nonverbal and can't fend for themselves.
Portnoy expects to see a surge in reports when schools and camps reopen. But as many expect more lockdowns in the future, Rain is working with state and national leaders now to implement change. They want to see a child abuse reporting function in online classrooms and more efforts to teach children where to go and how to report abuse.
I think if you're a teacher or a social worker or you're a volunteer who's providing meals to children who might have food security issues, it's important to put something in those packages.
She says slip a pamphlet into homework or a pop-up during virtual learning.
Some of them don't have any other way to communicate with the outside world except when they're online.
A group of senators, including Tim Kaine, introduced the Emergency Funding for Child Protection Act recently. It would provide $500 million for local child protective services, to set up technology for virtual visits, or to help with the challenges of continuing in-home visits during COVID. It would also provide $1 billion for community-based child abuse prevention programs. That is, more warriors to fight for children trapped in what should be their refuge.
My greatest fear is that so many of them are invisible, we can't see them.
If you suspect a child that you know is in trouble, or if you are a child who needs help, there are places you can turn to right now. I put a list of resources on WAVY.com. Stephanie Harris, 10 on your side.